Braxton Berrios, interestingly enough, signed a 1-year deal with the Miami Dolphins. This is a player who, when he played a couple years ago for the Jets, was a very useful piece. It commanded some targets when he was on the field, was a very flexible wide receiver. He was signed a 2-year, $12 million deal just last year, but then cut by the Jets because they're running out of wide receiver spots to have on their roster. So unfortunately, Braxton Berrios gets cut, but he resigns very quickly, bounces back with the Miami Dolphins. Certainly a player who's going to be competing for that wide receiver 3 role behind Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Also, worth noting, Mike Gesicki is not expected to be back. He hasn't signed anywhere yet, but maybe we'll get the note that Mike Gesicki signed somewhere. But I expect that Braxton Berrios, if he wins a slot role, could be interesting. We saw Cedric disappoint last year, and no other wide receiver stepped up for the Miami Dolphins as their wide receiver 3. If you like the content, find this helpful, make sure you hit that red subscribe button. So Braxton Berrios, if you're taking super duper late shots, last I checked, he was undrafted, but Berrios right now is on the drafted list. His ADP wide receiver 159. He's free in drafts. Take a couple stabs, especially if you're drafting Tua or if you're drafting Waddle or you're drafting Tyreek Hill. If one of those players goes down with injury, we've seen in the past Braxton Berrios command targets in limited snaps. So if he can carve out a nice little slot role, this might be an underrated signing. I like Braxton Berrios on the Miami Dolphins. I think I always have. This is a soft spot for me. So clock it, March 16th, 2023, Braxton Berrios. Raise your eyebrows. Consider drafting him in the last round of your best ball drafts at this point.